Well, that's it. All over and done with. Christmas has been and gone. We've all enjoyed the festivities right into January. Wish you all a very happy new year. Blwyddyn newydd dda chi gyd. This is January's edition of Wrexham Property TV. I thought it'd be a good idea for the January edition to look at 2022. It was one heck of a year for Wrexham in particular, especially when you start to look at some of the filming that we did around the town. And where I'd like to start is in the town's submission to be considered for City of Culture. What was particularly pleasing was how every element within the town, every organisation in the town came together to support the bid.
Ie, dwi'n falch iawn bod ni rwan yn y pedwar ola. Mae o'n newyddion cyffrous iawn i'r dre a just gobeithio rwan am y gorau a bod ni'n ennill.
I think the bid now is validation for all those people that have worked so hard over so many years to set up small projects, to do arts, to do retail, sport, whatever that might be, and giving them the infrastructure and the investment that they deserve to grow those projects on a local and then maybe national, international scale.
I think the thing with Wrexham, it's not the finished article yet. It's somewhere that could be the finished article, somewhere really big and important if we win this. And I think it'll be amazing to see our Wrexham being put on the map and to see people finding out more about it. Yeah.
I see it as very much a positive boost for us at the Stute and for Wrexham in general, and not just for the arts, maybe for everything that could benefit from such a successful bid, really.
Mae lot o trefi yng Nghymru yn Prydain wedi bod yn amser pryderus really ar gyfer lot o trefi eitha bach yn y Deyrnas Unedig. So dwi'n meddwl bod fel y publicity, bod pobl yn dod i nabod, gwybod am y dre a hefyd arian a just bod hwnna yn helpu busnesau. Mwy o busnesau newydd hefyd i ddechrau, ond hefyd cefnogi y rhai sydd yma yn barod.
We helped about 8 businesses here in the hub receive £1,000 grants, which allowed them to do things with their businesses they've never done before. So events at a much larger scale than previous. So I think if we did win the bid, that grows exponentially in terms of what their businesses can do. Obviously more footfall to the town, more publicity on Wrexham. We're already on the world stage thanks to Rob and Ryan, but obviously not everyone's a football fan. So, it really expands that out to catch more people than ever talking about Wrexham.
I think it will make quite a difference to the whole feeling of Wrexham. Sometimes it has a sort of a bad press, if you like to say, but it's not strictly true. It's other places have similar issues, and other places where they've been City of Culture, they've benefited from the money that it generates for one thing. The culture is already here, that could thrive even more.
So when these adjudicators come and visit Wrexham, do we know what kind of thing they'll be looking at and what kind of things what kind of things would score points for us?
We do to an extent. We know full well that the judges know on paper, what Wrexham's strengths are, and that's everything from the World Heritage Site to our gorgeous attractions in the National Trust properties, right way through to things like the football club with its heritage and history. But we've got so much from a tourism point of view, but what the judges really want to see is what difference this is going to make to that grassroots level, to those community groups that have been involved so far, scout groups to dance troupes, everyone that was included in that bid film. They really want to go out and actually talk to the community. So we can give a glossy portfolio to the judges, But really, it's about more than that. It's about actually uncovering some of those hidden stories and those hidden talents in Wrexham. And I'm sure that, we can really unearth those going forward.
This will last years, and that's what's really, really important.
I think the word that occurred to me is transformational. It is transformational. It's a quantum leap simply by everyone playing whatever part they can play.
It's the power of the individual. So everybody can make a difference to this bid now, and everybody can take that step back and think, how can I impact the outcome of the final judging process over the next couple of months? What can I do for my local community? And for individuals within a community to have that opportunity now to almost reframe what their future and the future of their community looks like, I just think that's a really, really powerful message.
As we all know, we were unsuccessful in the bid, but we have been informed that we were actually second in that bid process. And to come that close to something that previously would have thought of as unattainable is of considerable testament to what we can do as a community when everybody does come together. We've been actively encouraged to try again for the next time, where I think our case will be even stronger. Next up, Wayne Jones from the Turf, our own, very own local celebrity. Your life compared to where it was 2 years ago is today, October 22, in a very different place.
Very much so, yes. We, first and foremost, I'm just a local publican in Wrexham. Been coming to this pub for 20 odd years, and I would say the last two have been very enjoyable, but also a little bonkers. And yeah, my life has changed. Purely because, I go to the supermarket and people shout my name and shout hello, and that never really happened before and things like that. So, my life's changed, but I think a lot of people's lives in the town have changed.
When did you hear about the film and who got in touch and what, give me the beginnings of it.
So I heard rumours that it could potentially be a couple of A-listers from Hollywood. Didn't believe it, if I was honest. Probably still don't believe it deep down, if I'm honest. And then obviously that was all announced, and it was Rob and it was Ryan, and everybody was thrilled. And actually the cameras were here. I mean, it's still a couple of years ago now, Vaughan, but the cameras were here, pretty sharpish. All introduced themselves, asked if we'd be interested in participating and helping, and they were very interested in the history of the turf, obviously being the birthplace of the football club and whatnot. So we agreed again on the emphasis that it would help the football club. The documentary would generate money for the football club, and obviously that's what it's going to do. So yeah, to answer your question, we knew within a matter of weeks of them taking over that it was going to happen.
It's just one of those moments when you hear about it that you think somebody is having you on.
Yeah.
That it's some kind of ruse. Is it April? You're just wondering why. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, the honest truth is, I honestly don't know why. I mean, I think they've answered and sort of said that they can relate to the community and whatnot, and they see a lot of, well, especially Rob, maybe not so much Ryan, but Rob can see kind of people that he grew up around in the people of Wrexham. They alluded to the fact that it wasn't just about a football club. In fact, it was more about the community than the football club. My impression of both of them is that they wanted to leave a legacy. They want to come in, and Rob again was alluded to the fact that he said, Wrexham Football Club's been here for 150 or 160 years, and we want it to be here and thriving in 150, 60 years. So even already now, we're in a much, much, much better position. Not just the town of Wrexham and North Wales, whole of Wales. Rob's learning the language, for example. It's a boost not just for the town, it's a boost for the whole of Wales, and I'm convinced that they'll be talking about these guys for decades to come. At the end of the day, it's lovely that Rob and Ryan are here, and that the world gets to see what we get to see on a daily basis. That's marvellous. But let's not forget, when the cameras pack up and roll out of town, and when eventually the owners do go, which hopefully will be many, many, many years before that happens, the turf will still be here, the local people will still be here, the football club, fingers crossed, will still be here. I get as much, if not more, satisfaction out of just having a couple of quiet pints with Trev by the bar as I do having a pint with Ryan Reynolds. So they're both very enjoyable, but I'm just a local. When I said at the beginning of this interview, I'm just a local guy that runs a pub, and that's the be all and end all of it.
you are anything but a normal local guy. I think you've come across incredibly well. A fantastic ambassador for this pub and the town.
That's very kind.
And you haven't disappointed one bit.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
So all power to your elbow.
Thank you very much.
Okay, mate.
Pleasure. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
It has undoubtedly transformed Wrexham's reputation, and people's knowledge of Wrexham goes far and wide. When I spoke to Wayne Jones not so long ago, he was telling me weekly the turf, for example, now gets people from all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, the Far East. They all come to the turf as some kind of pilgrimage. After watching that particular programme, we've got Wrexham football fans from all parts of the world. And if we needed any proof as people from Wrexham and North Wales generally, the football club proved to be very much the beating heart of that town, because the impact of ensuring a brighter future for the club has reflected across the whole community. 2022 was the year where there was a price boom in sales. And during that year, we also ensured that we tried to give some publicity to the various residential areas in Wrexham and on the immediate outskirts of the town, and what you would expect and what kind of prices you would expect to pay for those relevant houses. So let's take a look at what we filmed. The one thing that I think stands unique in Wrexham and for Wrexham is the range, is the price range in property. You can still buy a house in Wrexham, a two-bed terrace in Wrexham, for around 110, 115,000. And yet, within 2.5 miles, you are in somewhere like Marford Hill, where it's quite possible to spend over £1 million. That range means we can cater in our county for all kinds of budgets, all kinds of people, and just shows the diversity that exists for people seeking a new home and a place where they can nurture a family and their children grow up. Thanks very much for watching the January episode. I'll see you again in February.